Circular convolution. The statement of this property is the multiplication of two DFTs is equivalent to circular convolution of their sequences in time domain. Very simple. If you want to calculate circular convolution between two time domain sequences, say x1 of n and x2 of n, there are two time domain sequences. If you want to calculate a circular convolution between these two sequences, simple thing is respective DFTs we have to calculate. It means, see, we assumed that there are two sequences x1 of n and x2 of n. If you want to calculate circular convolution between these two sequences in time domain, equation is there. But in frequency domain, the same answer we are getting simply by calculating DFT of first sequence and calculating DFT of second sequence and multiplication of the DFTs. So that one we have to prove here. So mathematical representation of this the property is, so let us say first sequence, assume that sequence x1 of n is a first sequence and its endpoint DFT pair is indicated as x1 of k. Similarly, I will consider second sequence x2 of n, time domain sequence. If you calculate endpoint DFT for this second sequence, that is indicated by the x2 of k. Now, as per the statement, circular convolution between these two sequences, circle over the n indicates that circular convolution of length n. Okay, sometimes you can write circle over the star, meaning is same. Okay, x1 of n is circularly convoluted with x2 of n, where capital N indicates length of the circular convolution. x1 of n is circularly convoluted with x2 of n. Here capital N indicates length of the circular convolution. That is equal to n point DFT of this circular convolution is x1 of k multiplied by x2 of k. Okay. So first I will write the equation for this time domain operation. Time domain operation is what? There is a circular convolution between x1 of n and x2 of n. So that operation is indicated as y of m, where y of m, see, where y of m is indicates that it is a circular convolution between x1 of n and x2 of n. So that is indicated by y of m. Hence y of m equal to summation over the limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n multiplied by x2 of m minus n of length n, where the value of m varies from 0 to n minus 1. See, very simple. From this equation, we can say that we have to calculate total n calculations we have to perform, because index varies from n equal to 0 to n minus 1. But for each operation, first sequence x1 of n we have to keep constant. Second sequence x2 of n keep on shifting. After each shift, we have to multiply the second sequence, shifted second sequence, with the constant first sequence. These operations we have to continue until we will reach n equal to capital N minus 1. So summation means addition. So x1 of n shifted of second signal multiplication plus second first sequence as it is constant, second time shift of second sequence multiplication with the x first sequence plus goes on up to where n equal to capital N minus 1. So this is about the equation. Now, first I will write the DFT of two sequences. Let us consider two discrete sequences x1 of n and x2 of n. With the help of definition of DFT, first I will calculate the DFT for first sequence. The DFT of, see, already I indicated x1 of k is indicates what? It is the DFT of 1, DFT of x1 of n. x2 of k indicates that DFT of x2 of n. So using the definition, we can write x1 of k equal to summation over the limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n e to the power minus j 2 pi k n by n, where the value of k varies from 0 to n minus 1. Equation number 1. Okay. Now, seconds x2 of k equal to, so I will take another index, because there is a overlap. If you take same indices means there is a confusion. Because of that reason, I have taken this one more different index, that is x2 of k equal to summation l equal to 0 to n minus 1 x2 of l e to the power minus j 2 pi k l by n, where the value of k varies from 0 to n minus 1. Equation number 2. Okay. So why I use two different indices Here I used n, here I used l. Here we use different indices for summations. This is because where x1 of k and x2 of k are multiplied, because we are going to multiply, correct? Where multiplied, those indices of summations are independent and different. Because of that reason, the indices of x1 of k and x2 of k should be independent or should be different. Okay, so let us represent y of k. I'm going to represent y of k, where y of k is the equal to multiplication of x1 of k and x2 of k. So y of k is indicated by multiplication between x1 of k and x2 of k. Let us represent it as a equation number 3. Now, so already we know x1 of k, this one, x2 of k, this one. So the multiplication operation is indicated by the result y of k. Okay. Now let us substitute the x1 of k and x2 of k values in y of k. Before that, y of k is what? It is the multiplication between x1 of k and x2 of k. Okay. If you calculate IDFT for y of k, that is indicated as y of m. Y of m is what? It is the IDFT of y of k. Hence, y of m equal to IDFT of y of k, that is 1 by n. Using the IDFT definition of IDFT, y of m equal to 1 by n, summation over the limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1. It is what? IDFT of y of k. Hence, y of k multiplied by e to the power j 2 pi k m. Here m is there, because of that reason I have taken m here. E to the power j 2 pi k m by n. So write it as equation number 4. Now further substitute. See, y of k is what? It is multiplication of x1 of k and x2 of k. That one I'm going to substitute here. Remaining part is as it is same. So write it as equation number 5. But we know what is the value of x1 of k and x2 of k. So let us substitute the values of x1 of k and x2 of k in this equation. So what happens? Y of m as it is, 1 by n as it is, summation over limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1 as it is. X1 of k is what? It is summation over limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n e to the power minus j 2 pi k n by n. Okay, fine. Multiplied by x2 of k is there. X2 of k is what? Summation over limits l equal to 0 to n minus 1, x2 of l e to the power minus j 2 pi k l by n. The remaining part as it is. Okay. Next, rearrange the terms and further simplification. Next step is y of n as it is I will take. Now I am going to take this summation over the limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n outside. Then summation over the limits l equal to 0 to n minus 1, x2 of l outside. Because in all the terms, here k is there, here k is there, here k is there. But the index k is present in the summation term. So I will take these parameters one side. Inside the bracket, I will take summation k equal to 0 to n minus 1. Then what? Uh, e to the power minus j 2 pi k n by n. Next, e to the power minus j 2 pi k l by n. Next, e to the power j 2 pi k m by n. Okay. Now take the power terms common. Y of m as it is, that is equal to 1 by n, summation this term as it is. Next, the term which is present inside the square bracket I am going to simplify. Here summation k equal to 0 to n minus 1. Here I have taken e to the power j 2 pi k plus j 2 pi k I have taken common. If I take plus j 2 pi k from this one, what left? M left. Then from this, if I take plus j 2 pi k, what left? Minus n left. Similarly, if I take from this e to the power j 2 pi k, what left? Minus l. Divided by n is common, divided by n. So write it as equation number 6. Now the last term of equation 6, this is last term, can be written as, so this term we can write, see this term you can write e to the power j 2 pi k m minus n minus l divided by n. Okay, this term I am going to rewrite as, inside the square bracket, e to the power j 2 pi, this k I will take power, I will take it as a power, remaining part as it is, m minus n minus l divided by n. So this is nothing but a, this is nothing but A. The term which is present inside the square bracket, I will assume as a here. Okay. Next, now use the standard summation formula. Summation over the limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1, a to the power k. This one we can write it as a n if the value of a is equal to 1. If a is not equal to 1, we can write 1 minus a to the power n divided by 1 minus a. Okay. Very simple. Now this formula we discussed many times. Now here a equal to what? Here a equal to e to the power j 2 pi m minus n minus l divided by n. Fine. Now the thing is that, so as per this condition, the summation term, this becomes n. This becomes n when a equal to 1. A equal to 1 means, as per this discussion, a is what? A equal to e to the power j 2 pi m minus n minus l divided by n. When this becomes 1, if and only if the m minus n minus l are the multiple of n. So for example, if you take m minus n minus l is equal to n, n get cancels. n get cancels means we are getting only e to the power j 2 pi. E to the power j 2 pi is cos of 2 pi plus j sin 2 pi. Cos of 2 pi is 1, sin 2 pi is 0. Hence a equal to 1 we are getting. So similarly, if you take n equal to 3n, so 3n divided by n get cancels, only left with what? 3. 3 into 2, 6. So 6 pi. E to the power j 6 pi. E to the power j 6 pi is cos of 6 pi plus j sin of 6 pi. Cos of 6 pi is 1, sin 6 pi is 0. Hence one sign we are getting 1, a equal to 1. So we know that cos of even multiple of pi results in always 1. So any value you can take. If you substitute m minus n minus l is equal to multiple of n, it may be n, 2n, 3n, 4n, 5, anything you can substitute a multiple of n. What we are getting? We are getting a equal to n, a equal to 1. Okay. So this assumption, so we can write here. Hence we can write here summation over limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1 ak is equal to summation over limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1. This is a term, power term is k. This one we are going to write it as n when conditions apply, when m minus n minus l is multiple of n. Okay. Case 2 is what? Same thing. Answer is 1 minus a to the power n divided by 1 minus a when we are taking if the value of a is not equal to 1. So let us substitute, simplify. Summation over limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1. This is a term, e to the power j 2 pi k m minus n minus l divided by n. So what is the formula? Here a equal to what? This is a. Okay, except k, remaining part is a. Hence 1 minus e to the power a is what? J 2 pi m minus n minus l divided by n is there, power term n is there, n it cancels, only we are getting this much, divided by 1 minus a. 1 minus a is what? 1 minus e to the power j 2 pi m minus n minus l divided by n. But if the value of m n l are integers means any value, it may be 2 1 3, anything you can take, then what we are getting? This is integer value, so integer may be 1 2 3, anything maybe. So after simplifying, what we are getting? E to the power j 2 pi, we are getting 1. So 1 minus 1, it is 0. So hence answer is 0. When it is 0? When m minus n minus l is not multiple of n. So in concise we can write the answer as, that step we can write as summation over the limits k equal to 0 to n minus 1 e to the power j multiplied by m minus n minus l divided by n, power term is k, that is nothing but answer is n. Answer is when m minus n minus l is multiple of n. If not, answer is 0. So this simplification, substitute, we can write y of m equal to 1 divided by n summation over the limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n summation over the limits l equal to 0 to n minus 1 x2 of l. So this part is simplified, that is we are going to write as n. So this n and this n get cancels, so left with what? Y of m equal to summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n multiplied by summation over the limits L equal to 0 to n minus 1 x2 of L. Write it as equation 10. Now, so the simplified equation number 10 we got when if m minus n minus L is multiple of n. This point you have to remember. This point very important. So this simplified version of equation 10 we got because of what? If we consider that m minus n minus L is multiple of n. So that one we are going to assume as that statement we are going to write in mathematically as m minus n minus L is what? Multiple of n. P may be any integer. So multiple of n means p may be an integer, p may be 1, 2, 3, 4 that. So I have taken minus p into n. So the reason for taking negative integer is here I'm going to tell that p is an integer. Okay, fine. An integer can be positive or negative. For the simplicity purpose, we have taken the negative integer here. So for simplification, let us express this equation in terms of L. L equal to L take right side of equal sign and minus pn take towards left side of equal sign. It becomes m minus n. This becomes plus pn. If you go minus L towards right side, it becomes plus. Hence L equal to m minus n plus pn. Equation number 12. Now substitute in equation 10. Equation is already no x2 of L is there. In place of L, I'm going to write this term. Y of m equal to summation of limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n x2 of L is there. In place of L, I'm going to write m minus n plus pn. But what this indicates the term x2 of m minus n plus pn. x2 of m minus n plus pn indicates that x2 of m, this is shifted circularly, by n samples. So if sequence is periodic and delayed, then it is expressed as x2 of m minus n plus pn is indicated that sequence x2 of m is shifted by n samples of length n. So that one we are going to write it like this: x2 of m minus n of length n. So let us substitute in the equation number above equation. So above equation becomes y of m equal to summation over limits n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n as it is. So in place of that we are writing x2 of m minus n of length n, where the value of m is 0 to n minus 1. This is about a circular convolution of given sequences in time domain. The resulting answer in DFT is nothing but in frequency domain is multiplication of the corresponding DFT.